An action with me, Klaus. Hi. Okay, everybody's replying, responding a little bit. That's nice. We're interacting. It's very good. Let's build a relationship. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. So I'll just do a really quick intro for everybody who has never met me before, which is perfectly normal, I guess. Somebody here who has met me before? Okay, like a third maybe or so. That's nice. Hi, I'm Klaus. I do this talk about narrative and action. I'm holding right now a new Wacom tablet. I got this one last week in London at Playgrounds in Motion. So it's super new for me. So I'm not only a unskillful boomer, it's also very new for me. So that comes with technical human difficulties. My full name is Klaus Scherwinski. I go by Storyboard Klaus. You see my little website down there, storyboardklaus.com. And I was born in Minden, close by. I live in Bielefeld again. I lived in Frankfurt. I worked at Crytek. I lived in Leipzig. I lived in Amsterdam for 5 years and just moved back to Germany. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not yet on OnlyFans. Depending on how this career works out, we'll see if you can see me there at some point. Who here is on LinkedIn? Okay, good. For everyone who's not on LinkedIn, join LinkedIn today. Add me, let me be your first contact in the games industry. I always give the tip, if you want a job in 2 years, join LinkedIn a year ago. Even if you don't have a portfolio yet, you need to be on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, no jobs. If you want to apply to jobs in the games industry, and there's a job offer out there and you write an application, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not even working for me, who's doing this for 20 years. You need network. You need somebody in the company who's vouching for you and puts you in a special folder where you get recognized. Otherwise, you're in a box with like 800 other people. It's really hard to stand out there if you're just a file and a name. So add me on LinkedIn. That's a good thing to do. I started out 20 years ago. I did my own comic book called Copec. Luckily, it's not online, and you cannot see how terrible it was. I then graduated to American comic books, so I worked on G.I. Joe, Transformers, Heavy Metal magazine, some other things, fun stuff. I did pen and paper role-playing game illustration for Shadowrun, Battletech, Das Schwarze Auge in Germany. Also worked on a couple Warhammer 40K novel covers for Black Library, the publishing arm of Games Workshop in the UK. That was a fun job. And you see, that was back in the day when we didn't use reference, because that wasn't cool. Today, I would do that with reference and make it more realistic and all that, but that was the time back then. Then I got into video games, so I worked on Ryse, Son of Rome. So I drew Roman soldiers for 2 years as storyboards. Then I worked on something called Hitman, worked on lots of trailers, Civ 6, Neverwinter Ravenloft, Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery, lots of stuff. Then for 2 years I worked at Guerrilla Games in Amsterdam, fell in love with the city, moved to Amsterdam, and I worked on Horizon Forbidden West. I was the main storyboard artist for this game, did all the main quest cinematics. 2 other colleagues of mine from the States and from Spain did some other scenes. They're amazing people, great team, had a lot of fun. Then I moved on directly during COVID to Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I worked there with my good friend John Buchholz, who's up there on the big stage. So you have to hear him later. He's amazing. He worked on the original Avatar movie, and he also worked as a mocap specialist on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and that's how we became friends. So I also currently work on a lot of NDA stuff. This is not one of the NDA stuff. This is an animated short called Xenebeast Towering Trolls. And I might have an excerpt for you later on. The woman who's animating that and directing that animated short is over there at the Wacom booth. Her name is Molly Heddy Carroll. And just go to Wacom and ask for Molly, and she's working on the booth on her animated short, 2D animated short in Clipstudio on this device. Her entire animation project is working on the Movinkpad Pro. It's really cool. She just shifted everything because this baby is powerful. I did the storyboards for the second episode, and I did the title cards for the first and second episode. There's a teaser out for the second one. The first one got 150,000 views on YouTube, which is kind of cool for somebody who's never been published any animated short before. So she's doing really well for herself. And now Wacom snatched her up to help her out with their tablets and stuff. What else? Yeah, that's a title card. So it's about giant monsters destroying a 90s cartoon city, and there's a nerd character, and he's mean and evil, and he scares little dogs and causes mischief and all that stuff. It's a fun little story. You'll see. Here's a QR code. Can you scan this? I don't know if that works, but I heard like the newfangled technology allows you guys to take a picture, and then this will get you to a link. And I can show that again later. And then you can save this for later. And yeah, it works. It works directly to YouTube. Fantastic. We'll do this again later. I got some other nice things to show and share with you at the end of this talk, all right? Cool. I have 3 topics for you, because I'm just going to draw something, I'm going to blabber on, and maybe you're able to ask questions in between. Not sure if that's going to work with the microphone, because I'll need to concentrate on drawing and talking at the same time, but maybe there will be questions. We have a microphone here. I don't know if there's an assistant that walks around with a microphone. If not, you just have to come here, grab the microphone. There's an assistant. Oh, there's one. Thank you so much. And then you can ask a question as well. Otherwise, it's a little bit difficult here with the communication, the way it's set up. But I do understand that everybody hears me, correct? And everybody understands what I'm saying? Or am I talking too fast? I'm sometimes talking fast because I'm nervous. I'm just a person like you, right? I can't step down here and just hang out with you. It's no difference, really. I'm just doing it longer than you, okay? And down the road, in a year or 2 or 5, I want to see you in the industry. That'd be amazing, and we work together. If I'm lucky to be still in the industry by then, which I would do expect, looking back at the last 20 years. So when I draw, I want to call your attention when I'm setting up a shot in a storyboard as a keyframe or as a storyboard frame, and those are different. Storyboard frames are quick and ugly. Keyframes are nice and have more information in the scene, and I'm going to show some samples of keyframes in a minute. So we are today doing only a sketch of a keyframe. I don't have the time to do a full keyframe. That takes much longer than the half hour I have here. So I want to ask you to think about 3 things, and please do take notes. Professional takes notes. There's this woman here, Marlene, in the first row. She's from SAE Zurich. Hey, SAE Zurich, yay. She takes physical notes. That is a very attractive thing. That is a very, very smart thing. Professionals do that. If I go to a conference, I have this with me at all times. I do not write notes down when I talk with a super professional from an important company. I do not put the notes into my phone because it looks like I'm calling my girlfriend or texting my boyfriend or something like that, so don't do that if you can avoid it. If not, you're cool, use your phone, it's fine. Today we're among friends. But the first impression always counts, right? So take physical notes. So when I'm drawing, I'm thinking of 3 things. And it's the rule of thirds, family of 3, and 3 planes of depth. So it's very easy to memorize. 3, 3, and 3, okay? Rule of thirds, somebody has heard about it before. I think composition rule of thirds, yeah, one of the basic things. I have an opinion on that, and I'll share it with you in a second. Then there's family of 3, which is repeating objects, but in different sizes. And then there's 3 planes of depth, which has an impact on value, on detail, and you want to group that in a smart way. It has an impact on color. I'm not doing color. I'm not good at color. They're experts at color. If I wanted to do more color, I would do more color. Apparently, I do not love color. So I'm just the guy for black and white. So we're going to talk about that stuff. And here are a couple excerpts and a couple samples from Neverwinter Ravenloft. So this is the keyframe I did for Neverwinter Ravenloft. And it went through iterations. I did the storyboards for that too. I did some concept art for that trailer. You can find Neverwinter Ravenloft on YouTube. It's a nice trailer for a fun game. So this is one of the keyframes. And you can see here, the focus is mostly on the character in the middle. Only if you do a long shot from far away, then the main character's in the foreground, and then there's a background, and then there's maybe something behind that. But normally we have 3 planes of depth. Just like theater, they call it stage lighting. They have a light at the front that's maybe red, in the middle it's blue, and the back it's purple, for example, to create the depth. So if an actor steps to the front, they're lit red, and they pop out like a dead nun in the snow, or injured nun that gets well afterwards, okay? So you see it here, we have 3 planes of depth. I will try something now. I don't think it's gonna work, but maybe I can actually focus? Can I draw? Oh my God, I can draw into this. This is so cool. So this works. You have the main character, again, in the middle, interacting with the other character here. And we have something very interesting in this one, and that is this here. It's the facial vector. I call it the facial vector. It's super important where characters look. In general, it's very important. Like when you edit or when you storyboard a scene, you have a character going like this, and the next cut is to where they look. Also, if I look somewhere, You cannot help yourself, but you also have to look there. I bet every one of you just looked up. It gets worse if I point towards the thing. Then you do it even faster. Can't help yourself, huh? Facial vector. Facial vector. Also, ideally, in every picture, you have one character, especially in a keyframe, that looks towards camera. The moment characters do not look towards camera, if something like this happens, then all of a sudden your eyes wander. You look at my butt, you look at my hand pointing, you look at my moving tablet, you don't look at my face anymore. The moment I turn around, facial contact, interaction, relationship building, eyes to the soul. What is Klaus planning? What evil things is he planning, right? So let's talk about that stuff. Here's another one, another keyframe I did. We see there are VFX in there, there is environment design in there, location design, character design in there as well. That's an especially funny one because I was supposed to design the elven, half-elven mage, and this was my keyframe approach to that. And then they were like, yeah, Klaus, that's nice, but no dangly bits. Nothing, no bag, no fur, no hair. She's bald, she has a tattoo on the head, she has a staff, but without any bands wrapped around it. She doesn't have any trinkets or charms or anything like that. I'm like, okay, that's a challenge. So regarding family of three, we have like 1, 2, 3, right? So we repeat elements and show them in different depth towards the camera. And ideally, they have a facial vector. Right? We have edges that points toward the main character in the middle. And now I've properly ruined this picture. Let's draw. Are there any questions so far? Just somebody with a mic, like raise your arm. So far, still good? Everybody very confused? Yeah, good, okay, fine. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Oh, I don't know, can I turn it off and turn it on again with the thing? Probably better not. Oh, no, yeah, let's not do this then. Let's not do this. So, it's a funny thing, like when your moving is turned off, you can actually just put your pen down and it opens this program, Wacom Canvas, which is currently my favorite drawing app on the planet. Has the best pen and has the best feeling for a pencil that you can get. It's even better than the iPad, in my opinion, right? If you have an iPad, be happy with that, run with it, it's very good. Now, however, this is a little bit more reasonably priced, and it has Android. It doesn't have iOS, and I like that a lot. So this has a wonderful sketching thing here. So this is this white spot that we see in here is my graphic system, and within this graphic system, I'm creating shapes, lines, forms, and they inform about stuff. They inform about depth, 3 planes of depth, for example, right? And we have composition, which informs us about superiority, like which characters is better and stronger than the others. So if somebody is higher up in the picture, they're stronger. If somebody's bigger in the picture, they're stronger. Makes perfect sense, right? So you heard about the rule of thirds, and the rule of thirds just means, let's go back here. We have like a grid like this, just cut this into thirds, and then somebody very smart said, like, put important elements, put like a character that's here, that's flying and doing something, right? And put another character here who's inferior. We're like, no, don't kill me, right? And we put this at these points, and that's nice and fine. However, these points have absolutely no meaning at all. Completely irrelevant. All it means is don't put your character here. That's not good. You know how kids do this? Yeah, that's you if you put stuff in the corner. That's you, that's what I see. If I look at a portfolio and I go, oh, there's a plant, I'm putting it here. Oh, no. No, that's the sun in the corner. So we don't do that in professional storyboarding. So the concept just means you put the character close to the middle, but not in the middle. If you put the character in the middle, you have a passport picture, right? passport picture. Not very exciting. Can be very exciting if you do something cool, like a poster for a James Bond movie or something like this. You have the guy here with his gun, right? And he looks really cool, standing in the middle, standing in the circle, doing stuff, right? Middle composition, very, very iconic, very easy to read, very easy to memorize, very good thing for novel covers and so forth. Not for storyboards, mostly not, except you're David Fincher, and then you want to do central perspective until the cats come home, or how do you say that in English? I don't even know. So with these rule of thirds, there's one thing that's very close to my heart, and it is something called the life area. I call it the life area, and it's a section here. You go to the middle of these things, and this forms an area where everything that is interesting should be. Your key point of interest should be either in the middle or on one of those meeting points, but everything interesting should be in this dashed line here. Everything outside, one of my students once dubbed the danger zone. The danger zone means we don't put new information there. We don't put new stuff in there. For example, if you create a graphic system, and for example, there's a palm tree, right? And then there's small palms. It's already, you see, like automatically getting nice proportion, good composition. And then we do like scale cues, makes one bigger in the foreground. We put in a horizon line in there, stuff like that. Something very, very simple. Everybody can do it. But we do it in a smart way. However, if we introduce now a new element, we should introduce that in the live area. So if I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put a house here. Now we have a geometric element within an amorphous shape grouping and graphical system that is about amorphous shapes, not geometric shapes. And I put it in the middle. It's wonderful composition. We have a problem. We need to talk. That's not terrible. If I'm an art director, I'll be like, hey, that's great, but my attention gets drawn out of the picture now, and I would like to draw people into the picture because there's something new which is different. So far, so absolutely ugly. So let's start a new one, and let's do something fun. I'm sketching first a very rough version, then I'm going to take this to Clipstudio Paint, and then I'm going to embellish it a little bit in those moments we have. So I cannot make the black and white drawings as you've seen before. Those take 3 to 4 hours, okay? So I don't have that time right now. I need my favorite brushes and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to work with this right now. And I want to draw something complex, so I want to have 3 characters in there. Most people are like, well, I got 2 characters. How do I put those on a plane? Oh my God, that's difficult. Let's do 3. And I want to have 3 characters like that are somehow specific. They're holding certain things. What could they be holding? Weapons? Anybody fan of holding weapons in there? Okay, cool, like soldiers. I love drawing soldiers and that type of stuff. Who's for like science fiction? Who's for medieval, like The Witcher and stuff? Okay, who's for like modern? Modern's lame. Okay, we do medieval. Okay, let's do some knights or something like that, right? So I could give them some long fighting staffs, implements, that type of stuff. So we can play a little bit with all the elements that put together a good picture. They're in the forest. They're in nature somewhere, right? And they find something. That is the moment we want to see, oh, they discover something. What could they discover? These medieval knights or people. Anybody shout something? A dragon. Possible. A treasure chest. Okay, let's go with something more crazy than treasure chest. A what? A mimic. Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. That is a little bit like being asked as an illustrator, so you have to draw a beautiful young woman, but she's dressed up as an old man. Draw that. No, you see, this is just an old man. I don't see the woman there. No, she needs to be more sexy when you do it. No, it has to be an old man. Draw a mimic. Oh, no, it's fine. Good idea. So no, let's go with anything contemporary. Anything like that's out of time. Yes. A shotgun. Okay, that challenge accepted. A shotgun. Okay, let's. For me, a shotgun is like a long instrument, right? So it's a little bit difficult. If you draw it on the ground, that's your shotgun. Does it look great? No, you can't see it, right? Now you can see the shotgun if it's floating up in the air, or if it's like vertical, then you see the shotgun better. Like if you have any object, like a gun, for example, and you point it towards the camera, it's gone. It's just a finger. Now it's a gun, now it's a finger. So you have to always go like half measure. You can almost never do this directly. But that's fine. Let's go with a shotgun. Okay, 3 nights, discover a shotgun. Fantastic. So let's see how that goes. So the shotgun is a medium-sized instrument. That makes the decision a little bit difficult. So if I have them discover something big, like a car, or something like that size, I would do an over-the-shoulder of the soldiers moving forward, and then the thing in the back is huge, right? So I put it in the background. Now the thing is small. If I put it in the background, it's going to be like that tiny. So it's not going to read. So I could do like, oh, look, family of 3. One guy here, one guy there, one guy there, background, and here lies the shotgun. Not exciting. Okay, put a tree there, lean the shotgun against the tree. And also not interesting. Klaus, what are you doing there? This is not hip, right? It doesn't have an iconic read. So I'm going to go back and just reverse angle that shit, pardon my French. So what I'm going to do is when you said shotgun and I thought medieval, I thought of like, it's a weapon, it's like a sword, right? Different sword, but you remember the saga of the sword and the stone? Let's do the shotgun and the stone. Okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna establish this. Maybe I'll do a slight tilted horizon. Slight one. And then I'm gonna do a stone in the foreground. And where I'm gonna put the stone? I put dead center. Why dead center? Because it's an iconic shot. It's an iconic moment. Remember the first decision we make? Is it iconic in the middle or do we put it to the side? My decision is I put it in the middle. My cinematic director might be like, nah, I want it on the side. Let's not do center position. So I was wrong. Doesn't matter. I still get paid. So that's fine. I just, as a storyboard artist, or if you work in games as an artist and art director, you're expected to make a decision. You make an executive decision, you have reasons why you make it, and if they want something different you could not have known, you're still good. Nobody's going to fault you for it. If anybody faults you for it, leave these people. Not good people. Work with good people. Our time is limited on this planet. Let's work with nice people. So we're going to do a sword here in the foreground, and then I'm going to do double-barreled shotgun. Double-barreled shotgun. And it's in the stone. I'm going to lodge it a little bit in here. So far, so good. This is already good. Slightly angled, so I keep it dynamic. I can also do a little bit of a Dutch angle. You saw that there. I tilted it a little bit because this is like the weird moment. You're like, what? A shotgun in medieval times? I can't believe that. We can do that. Don't do too many Dutch angles. In comic books, do Dutch angles all the time. Why? Because you have more diagonal space. You can make characters bigger and longer if you use the diagonal, if you use the Dutch angle. So if superheroes walk in, Dutch angle that shit. In movies, you can't do that. Dutch angle means something is weird about this, something is comical about this. So if you overdo it, it's a problem. I see old Ryse, Son of Rome storyboards from me, and I'm like, comic book Dutch angle. And my director's like, flatten that shit. Let's make it normal. I'm like, oh, okay, I learned something there. I was still paid. I was not fired. We make mistakes. It's fine. We're never good enough. We're always still learning. So let's do this. Put a shotgun here, really cool. Click, click, click. Maybe make it a repeater gun or something like this. Fine. The gun and the stone. Then I can use my brush, my eraser, just erase this a little bit, gets perspective. Okay, so far so good. And now we have 3 characters, and we want to put the 3 characters around it. So do they all come from one side? Or maybe they find something and they go around and go like, what is this thing? What is this object? There's a glowing gun. There's maybe a light ray. Duh. You know, God rays coming down on that thing. So compositionally, this is already like starting to work out. So far, so good. And we're relatively low here, so I want to introduce 3 characters in different poses, ideally. Ideally, I show them all in different stages of the same movement. Because the movement of discovery of a gun like this is going to be like, whoa! What is this? Is it dangerous? Stuff like that, right? That's the movement. So if I show all three in different stages of the same movement of one character, I'm communicating that all the characters have done the movement. This is movement study. So let's go into that one for a moment. So I'll need one character that is super close to it. He's about to touch it. He's like, whoa, this is weird. Maybe that character is super big in the frame in here. So I'm going to put him in here. Uh-oh, this is head. Oops, a little bit far outside, right? What about here? Yes. This is already working. And I'm going to tilt his head a little bit. Because that's when the dog goes like, oh, right? That's what he's doing. Like, what? He's like, what is this? And give him a little beard, you know, knights have beards. So I'll just start with a head position. And then I'm gonna, you see what we have here is called an overlap. Overlaps create depth. It's magical. Always do that. Never do things touch. If if like there's a bird and the bird is like flying here, then the bird sits on his head. If the bird is flying further away, then that's not a tangent, then that's fine. And we can use birds to add particles, add movement, because we're in a forest, we're in nature, we can do that stuff. We can do a lot of stuff like this to imitate nature's reality there. So I notice I talk a lot and draw a little, so we might not be able to go farther than this and actually refine this too much. So here's a guy, and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? Opening his mouth, gaping mouth, and maybe he's even, I use the finger here, put the finger, that's too big. Could use his hand here. So maybe like, but now it looks like he's touching his own. So I'll do something different here. So I will have him on the ground. Put the knee to the front. Put the leg down. Proportions are a little bit difficult here to figure out, just drawing off the fly. And let's have him interact with the ground. That's always good. The ground. And he's signaling to the rest of his crew, like, hey, wait a moment. This is crazy. This is made from metal. Unbelievable. It was your idea, not my idea, right? So I'm just playing with that. Playing with the storytelling here, making up story as I go along. And here we have the guy kneeling. I do these little ellipses so I know in which direction the arm goes. Easiest thing in the world, easiest thing to make, to mess up. So this is all fine, this is all good. So this is already good. Let's give him some sort of like medieval helmet. Maybe a little bit of chainmail. Right? Shoulder pads. I think they're named pauldrons. Am I wrong? I might be. It's good when you know stuff, but sometimes you don't have to know what it is. You just have to know that they wear it, and they have it. So this is all fine. He has some cloth here, so the armor isn't that clunky. So I'm now almost doing character design. I'm losing my story here because I don't have time. I need to compose a nice shot. So he's pretty fascinated with this thing. So let's do another character. Where do I put this other character? Do I put him out here? No, danger zone, can't do that. Can't put important stuff in there. Later on, if I introduce more stones, because I have a stone in there, I have a big stone, I have a medium size, let's say this is a medium sized stone. And then at some point I have a big stone somewhere, and then I have a small stone, and then I have family of 3, boom, done. Fantastic. I can also put a big stone here. And maybe a medium sized stone here. And actually I can make this a little bit swampy area. Have some ferns. You always see when these ferns are growing, this long grass, you know it's swampy. There's liquid there, right? So know a little bit about environment design goes a long way in helping you tell the story and come up with ideas. So we have an edge direction here. We just checked this, right? I'm pointing to something, I'm having a facial vector to something, and you have to look at the no smoking sign, and you drop your cigarette. So we have this edge direction to the side. I'm going to use that and put another character in there. I think this should be the second biggest character that we're doing there. And I'm going to put him, rule of thirds, right? This is between that, so I'm going to put him here. And I'm going to put the character here. So this character goes like, what the heck is this? Opening up his hand like this. So you open up the hand like this. Don't do this. This is Rob Liefeld. This is always superheroes, always have fists. They always have fists and always go, ah, right? Superheroes. We're not drawing superheroes, we're drawing normal people. Normal people do this with their hands a lot. So if you're able to draw relaxed hands, you're in a good spot. Tea kettle position, right? I think that's what it's called. So we have this guy here. And I'll give this guy a staff weapon because I like staff, like halberds or spears, something like this. So I'm giving him a staff weapon. That goes too far. So I'm giving him a staff weapon. Oop, a little bit dangerous here. See that staff, where that goes? It goes into the corner. It goes exactly into the corner. We don't want to have stuff in the corner. We do not have stuff interacting with the corners or the sides of the picture. That's like Deadpool knocking against the glass of the camera. Fourth wall break. So let's not do this, not even close to this. So either this guy, for example, this guy might be injured a little bit and using it as a crutch. And we're going to put the thing here. And then I can just cut it off at an opportune moment. This is the halberd. It's nicely cutting it off. There's some staff stuff on it, blah, 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 yada, yada. And this guy goes, look, ooh, what's this? Easiest way of doing this. So this is now like a 15-minute sketch roundabout. So we're doing okay. It's a complex shot. So we try to set it up in a smart way. We can give this guy some extra knives and stuff, and like something like this. And we make sure that the thighs are a little bit bent, right? Because when you're ready for action, or when you're surprised, you do this, right? And you do this, the knees come forward. You don't do, oh, this is really stiff, really weird. This C-3PO, right? You want to do 3CPO? You want to do a robot? You do that. You do those twinning motions, where everything is at the same time. If you're a normal person, you don't do that. You talk with one arm, almost two, maybe. But the moment you talk with two arms, the moment you do a twinning motion, you are iconic and you get people's attention. You notice that? The moment I talk about like this, and I'm a little bit shifty and going from one center of gravity to the other, that's kind of chill. That's kind of normal. The moment I do this, oh, I'm focusing on a person, I'm making a big statement here. Same thing with our figures. They are just like us, and we have to treat them thusly. So I'm doing this, and again, doing overlap. Careful here, never cut off things at joints. Never cut off a hand at the wrist, at the elbow, at the shoulder. The moment a hand is where these points are, so if I go like, hey, how you doing? And my hand is exactly where my elbow is, if you draw this as a picture, it looks like I'm clutching my elbow. There's another thing where you have another character jumping into the picture, right? And doing like they're jumping into the picture here, and they punch forward and they fly because they're Superman. But now this guy's touching that guy's crotch. It's not a tangent, it's not real, it's overlap. It's a smaller character flying in the foreground behind this giant character, but it's still a crotch tangent, right? So careful with this, we don't want to do that. So I have to draw this character standing here on the ground, further away, closer to the background a little bit. And I have to cut him off here at the joint. Do I have to? No, I don't have to. I just changed the fucking stone. Boom, there we go. Cut off in the middle. Fine, done. Nice. Put some stuff here. And no, I just almost did something. It's fantastic. So I'm doing this, right? Look, I'm drawing grass, and then you know what? I'm going to put a frog in here. Can I draw frogs? No, I can't draw frogs. Apparently, I cannot, right? So I'm doing a frog in here. That's nice. Is that possible there? Oh, hell no, it's not. Why not? It's in the danger zone. I'm introducing a new element outside the life area of the picture. Klaus, can't do that. If you later on put shading in there and it's in the shadow and people are not actually going to notice that, then that's fine. But that's not the problem. And also my problem is I'm making up these rules as I go along. And when I violate the rules and my students see that, they go like, Klaus, you put something outside. Oh, yeah. Right. So I cannot put a froggy in there. Where else can I put the froggy? In the center, no problem. Put a froggy here. Right? Have a little froggy character. Okay, so here we have this, or we could also have, I don't know, like there's maybe also some flies around, some other elements in there. So this is so far so good. We still need a third character. So where to put the third character? That's becoming a little bit tricky now. So I'm seeing I've just booked this location here, and I don't want that. So Froggy has to go away. Sorry, Froggy can come back later. Just putting another stone in here. See how this is getting more alive? It's still iconic, it's still in the middle, but with the overlap and with a family of 3, we have a medium-sized, we have a medium-sized stone, a small stone, and a big one, and we have family of 3. Okay, put another stone in here. It's huge, and it's just in this swamp. So far, so good. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to put the third character here in the background. And that third character is the one character that is going forward and sneaking in, just like this guy a little bit. So you notice that this is the shoulder line and this is the head. So the moment you are curious about something or you're going into battle, your head goes down next to your shoulders. Beginner's mistake is always draw the neck, always stretched out. And once you've drawn that, you're done. You can't make it dynamic anymore, because if something is dynamic, head goes down, shoulders go up. So we have a third character here. And we give him a staffed weapon, for example, because he feels a little bit crammed in right now in here. And I give him another staffed weapon. Maybe a really long one. And he's like Crusader Knight or something like this. This is his face. And there's that. So now I've set up a system that guides us through the picture, right? I have an element here, and this will stick out even more in a second when I add some shading to it. And so we have a big one element here in the middle. Our eye goes down, eyes go back up, go back here, go to this character. This line leads us down again to this character. This leads us up again to this character, and we have a nice circle of attention focusing everything on the middle. And I just did this as if I had planned this. And I didn't. So I got lucky. Lucky is experience times work and finding out what you know about this stuff, and then if you're lucky, something like this happens. So there's still not enough depth for me in there. So what I want to do now, I want to go in and shade this a little bit. And the funny thing is with this pen, I'm still using the same pen, by the way. I do thicker outlines for stuff that's in the foreground. See how dark I can go with this? This is really neat. And the lines appear exactly where I put them, not somewhere else. Other tablet technologies have a pen that is designed for the tablet. This is a pen designed for drawing. This is a tablet designed for drawing. This is not like the iPad. This is for drawing people. So I do this. We have the stone here. And we have another stone here. And I want to take away the transparent nature of it and these lines here. Break this up a little. And then I'm going to use the side of my pencil, as you can, with other technologies as well. And shade this. I'm adding detail now. more detail than we potentially should, because now I need to add detail to the middle ground character as well. Normally this would be the middle ground character. However, what we have here is more or less a long shot, a shot that is further away from the camera, and we're getting everything into focus. And by the way, this is still the same tool. So I only need one tool to make all these things happen, which is pretty nifty. You can add some texture. Define a light source. We have defined the light source to the left, so all the shadows are on the right. Did this with the gun already. That's fantastic. This is cool. And I will proceed and do all that for the other characters as well. It's a lot of shadow here. If we define the shadow this early in the sketching phase, before you make it really pretty, you know where to put details and where to not put details. A beginner will go like, oh yeah, there's a cloth here, and it has a little structure on it, and then little symbols on that stuff. It's never going to be seen. Never going to be seen. Also not what the scene is all about. What the scene is all about is this character going like, what is this? So I'm going to give this character the level of detail, the facial fidelity, to make it stick out. What is this? I have to look on my time. I still have 10 minutes. Yay! Okay, so this is so far so good. And we have a little bit more detail on this character. Under his knee, tip under the knee, always put shadow. Always put shadow under the knee. You will be happy about this. The feet disappear here in the grass. That's nice. A hand comes down here. Put a little bit of shadow there. Everything on the right is in shadow. And then we have cast shadows and form shadows informing the structure of the armor. Give it a little bit more highlight. Put dark versus light side. And then you get the shininess of it a little bit more. But this is all we want to do right now. And now we have already started to render detail in different planes of depth. You see, the first character here has a lot of detail, a lot of high and low lights, right? The second character on the left with a halberd up, this guy here, has no shading on him, but he still has a face. Third character in the background doesn't even have a face anymore. Stop drawing the face. What's with your face? Don't do it. Beginner will go like, oh yeah, so great, I can zoom in, let's draw a face and all the details. No, you don't. No, you shouldn't. That's not how the human eye perceives things. So this is the simplest drawing tool ever, the Wacom Canvas app. But if I want to use layers and all the fancy stuff, I take it to Clipstudio. This big baby comes with a 3-month license of Clipstudio Paint, a 6-month license of Clipstudio Paint. There's a smaller version of this tablet, the 11-inch, which comes with a 2-year license of Clipstudio Paint. That's the one for the students. Costs $400, much more affordable. I have to deal with the expensive stuff. I'm old. I need the real estate of the drawing, otherwise my eyes don't do it. I have my glasses down in my backpack, okay? So bear with me here. So what I can do now, I can go click this button and say, continue drawing in Clipstudio Paint. And then opens it up in Clipstudio Paint as a transparent PNG. It's connecting to the server, it takes a moment. I'll go with create a copy right now. Boom, and here we go. So it's on a transparent layer now, that is fine. I'm just gonna open up a new layer. I'm gonna drag the layer below that. I'm gonna take the fill tool and then I'm gonna throw in a color. Black is not good, white is, doing something wrong, I think. This is how that goes. Okay, now I have white as the background. That is okay, but good storyboard artists and good, if you're a quick sketcher, if you do live drawing, you don't use a white background. Why not? You can't do highlights. It doesn't get lighter than white. So what we do is we use a gray background and then we do white highlights, save a lot of time, and the midtones are carried by the underground paper, by the underlying paper. And that's what I'm trying to get the people from Wacom into, that they supply us in the Canvas app with that gray thing. So this is probably like this, and then I do this. Oh, too dark. far too dark right now. Oh, I'm just seeing I have a blue line still in there. So that is my mistake. Sorry, friends. That is when you give a demo and draw at the same time. Yeah, this is nice. Slight difference, right? It's not a big difference, but it's just a very slight difference, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, like this. I didn't even finish yet. So we still have a few minutes, and I want to use the time to just do one or two things in this illustration. So I'm going to open up a new layer here, and then I'm going to choose foreground color with my trusty pencil. Got my pencils here. Wonderful. There's my sketcher. And I can draw with this. Take down the opacity a little bit. And then I can go in and add, this is the size, I believe. I can add a little bit more, a couple more gradients here. And what I can do is I can add in very, very simple highlights. So I'm going to make this smaller now, make this a little bit stronger. So I can do this. Just give them a couple highlights here. I just put a couple highlights, specular highlights. It's a wet stone, that's why we do specular highlights on this thing. And then we're going to do a couple particles, a couple flying particles like this, because they're insects in the air and dust and whatnot, right? So we can also actually put insects. We don't put them here. We don't put them outside the live area. Ideally, you have a little moth that just starts off the gun and flies away, stuff like that. There are a lot of possibilities in here. And if I want to go back to my black, I can add a little bit of structure in the background. Just don't introduce new stuff outside. So this rendering technique of the stone now is outside the live area, but I've used it down here already, so it's already initiated. It's not something new. Only new things shouldn't be outside. If I now do something absolutely bonkers and be like, you know what? I should put a frog here or something like this. You have no chance but to look at this red little thing. If you present your portfolio and your signature is always the pink line that says klausartthebest.com or mega artist or whatever, how you sign your work, right? I don't know. And it's pink like this, it will pop out far too much. This is a distraction from the entire illustration. Everybody's always going to look at the color spot all of a sudden because you introduced a new graphic element, a new type of differentiation. I did a talk about that at DEF CON this year into this graphic system. So this is that. And I want to leave this drawing at this. And if I'm lucky now, I'll be able to share this drawing with you. Let's try this out. I think I can open the shelf, and this should be in the Wacom shelf. Let's see if it's updating. Does it update from Clipstudio as well? It should, right? Just going to click on that. That's still the old drawing. So, I have to save it first. Yeah, indeed. Hello, Klaus. What? Wacom shelf? Oh my God. Here's the thing. So I can now hit share. And I need 5 more minutes of your time. And I go quick share. And if you have an Android phone right now, you can take it out. And I can create this QR code. And with this QR code, you can right now download this drawing onto your tablet so you don't forget what I was drawing and you can spot all the mistakes I made. And maybe you feel like it and want to draw over it and render this composition with these characters in your style. Maybe you're a painter, maybe you're really good with colors, and you can take it to the next level and make it much better than what I did in this half hour here. Did it work? Did somebody successfully download this QR code? Oh, here we go. Okay, just wait for it 1 moment. I have one more piece of information for you that's really cool. And I believe we might have to throw the Q&A to the Wacom booth, where I'll be after this talk. And then you can ask me all the questions in the world. Like, where do you buy your ties? Like, where's this shirt from? The important bits, right? Okay, I'll just leave it at that for this one. If you haven't downloaded it, I'll put it out there again at the Wacom booth, and then you can download the picture, or I'll put it online. I hope I meet all you guys online again, by the way, on LinkedIn, Instagram, follow me. Throw me a message, say, hey, Klaus, I saw your talk, really ugly drawing, get better, work on yourself, stuff like that, you know. I'm German, so I like it like this. So if you don't have your portfolio with you, which I advise against, you need to have your portfolio at all times, have it on your phone, have it on a tablet, have it natively there. Do not have it on a website, because where you show somebody the portfolio, you might not have reception, and then you're doomed. You travel to Lightbox Expo, spend 4,000 euros, get a portfolio review by an industry professional, and they're like, yeah, we don't have Wi-Fi here, sorry about that. And yeah, I had it on my website, but I don't have Wi-Fi. You just wasted 4,000 euros. So don't do that. Don't make that mistake. So if you don't have your portfolio here, you can join our Discord. There are two channels. One is called Portfolio Reviews, and that's where you put your portfolio, a link to put your portfolio, one single piece of art that you're working on, for example, that you're struggling with, and then I will go through that list, and on Thursday, this Thursday, the 23rd at 5 p.m. German time, I'll be online in the live talk channel on the Discord from Wacom, and you can access it with this code. And I'll do portfolio reviews. You can ask me questions there, written questions. There will be a host that will read out the questions to me. Anything that you can't do here with me right now because it's too little time, we can do that on Thursday. Unique opportunity. Normally you have to go to Eindhoven, to playgrounds, or to other conferences internationally to get the feedback on your portfolio that you personally need, not generic feedback, but stuff that you want to know about for your art. This is the opportunity. And with that, I think it's time to close this session. I'm sure there will be questions. Just come up to the front here or see me at the Wacom booth later. Thank you so much for your attention. And please let everybody know about the link about the portfolio review, right? Take it home to your SAE campus. Tell all your friends who can't be here today, they can still meet me online, and we can look at your portfolios together, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.